Well, hello and welcome to Lengro Midday. Hello, Nigel. You're always first to the post. I love that. So it is issue 37 of Lengro magazine. Can you believe it, guys? And we're talking mental health today. Yours, theirs, ours. It's a time to talk day as well that's coming up, and we've got some really special guests joining us as well. Tina Williams, hello in Manchester. We were up in Manchester last year, weren't we, at the beginning of the year? Absolutely love Manchester. Hello, Stella Henderson as well. Let's get some readings done, guys, as well. Coming up on the show, we have Amanda, the lovely Amanda Waring. She's going to be talking about Dignity Action Day and teaching us the art of self-care. Also coming up in the show as well, we have the amazing Laura Ann as well, who's going to be helping us to get the toxicity out of our life. Can't believe I said that right. We're also talking about anxiety oils with the lovely Sam from Lengro, and we had a guest editor today for this week's issue of Lengro magazine, who is the incredible Cheri, who is our well-being expert. More than that, she encompasses a lot. And she's here along with the others to help you with your health. And of course, we've got the gorgeous Jack, who's going to be telling us what's in Lengro and talking mental health and much more as well. So, Nigel, your anxiety has been playing up. So you're in the right place, guys, for support today. And it's not easy, is it, at the best of times? But you're not alone. And you will see as well in Lengro magazine that not just this week, but every week, our writers have got all of the helplines that you need. But not just that, tips to help get you through as well. And of course, hello, Stephen Hode to you. It's not just, as you'll read in Jan Bray's article, women or girls that cry, boys cry as well. And of course they should. And Jan's taking a really good angle on that as well, because we all need support at the moment, don't we? Mercury. He's so annoying, isn't he? He went retrograde, and also we had a full moon in Leo. Did you say something that you shouldn't? Are you regretting it? Do you wish you could wind back last weekend? Well, one of the things that you can do when Mercury's in retrograde is, if you can't go through a problem, then you can go round it. So what Mercury does, and I'm a great believer, guys, with astrology, that there's always a positive to be found, even in negative. That maybe if we were going a certain way, by going a new way, we could pick up something extra that we learn about ourselves or about life as well. So benign results for Stella Henderson. Could we all give some love, please? You know what it's like waiting for health results, and it is benign. Of course it is, my darling. Now, take that as a message to look after you. And one of the things Jan's talking about as well in her article is foods. Are a massive influence on our moods as well. So put the right fuel in your body, guys. I'm going to get shuffling. I've got my Claire Petulengro Romany Gypsy Tarot cards here with me today. And if you don't know who I am and you've just stumbled on my page, then you need to know that the tarot cards are my tarot cards that I created, and even have their own school and courses to go with it. Nigel Porter, what do the cards say for you? So I've drawn the 10 of Wands for you, which is about fulfillment in the past. So I'm going to draw 3 cards on this day of anxiety that we're talking about. And it shows that you were building something up. That's what that card means. It also shows that things went wrong in the summertime. The 10 of Cups as well, you've got 2 10s here, shows that you've got the right building blocks in place at the moment. But with the Judgment card undignified, who are you judging? Yourself. And how? Too harshly. Well, what does the future hold for you, Nigel Porter? Well, we have the Knight of Wands, don't we? Knights in all tarot cards, they relate to inner strength, very much about you finding your feet again, but perhaps going back to basics. It also suggests to me as well, Nigel, that you might have to go back to something that you feel is like going a step back, but you never know. The lady who drew these cards and who's on them is with us today, and I'm sure she'll have advice on lots to share with you later as well. So let's have a little look. I'm not siding with the boys, but I am going to go to another boy now, and that's Stephen Hode. And then I promise I'll come to a woman. But it shouldn't make any difference, should it? No, says Richard. He's just made me a lovely cup of tea. Let's have a little look. Stephen Hode. It's very quiet here in Brighton today. Had a lot of rain, haven't we, darling? That's it. He's over there very quiet because he had to get up at 5 o'clock this morning for an online shop. He really did. We have the lovely Ace of Wands. When you draw an ace, it's always good, even when it's undignified. The Ace of Wands undignified for you, Stephen, means delays with your career and also with your creativity. Things will get going again, but don't live in the past over sort of changes that had to occur and that had to happen. What we see as well with the Nine of Wands is that things are building up, very much to do with you reevaluating. Don't overcompensate to others. Don't be too generous to others. Could be a difficult atmosphere in the home coming up, and also money related to the home as well. Are you frustrated, Stephen? What we have here with the King of Swords is you as someone who's not using his brain at the moment. You will get there, kind sir. What you need to remember is for you, very old saying, very simple one, small steps lead to big changes. I've got a feeling, Stephen Hode, that Mercury in retrograde is really affecting you at the moment. And I would be interested to know what star sign you are as well. Let's have a little look. We've got an Amanda Law who really wants a message. She'd really love one. Could I ask you all, please, to take a moment to like, follow, and press share so other people get to see our live right here, right now. One of us might have a very important message for them. We might even just make them smile. Who knows? Amanda Law, let's have a little look. Look, I love that. Kids in a round thing. I had a picture of my son Paris inside one of those tunnels, isn't it? Another thing we can do in lockdown, isn't it, is get loads of pictures out and put new pictures up around the house for inspiration. Seeing lots of familiar faces there, guys. Thank you very, very much. So this card about your past, Amanda Law, is the Five of Swords. You had to rebuild, and you didn't do a patch-up job. You did very, very well of building the new chapter of your life that you're in, my darling. And I think you forget to give yourself a pat on the head, head hat sometimes with the Ten of Swords undignified. You got to let something go, my darling. You got to let something go and accept that certain events have to be a certain way. Do you know what we know with the Tower card? Is that when we draw the Tower card for somebody, and this card is represented in your situation for the current future at the moment, that bad event that's bothering you has already happened. We can't do anything about it. You can't do anything about it. So could I please say to you, my darling Amanda, start to make a new life in the areas where certain freedoms have been taken away. It's like swallowing a bitter pill. Sometimes you've just got to get it over with. You really, really have. So I am going to come back for some more. Should I do another reading? Should we do another reading before we bring the ladies on? I think that we should. And what I'm going to be doing today is I'm going to be page hopping. I'm going to be doing the live on here, then going into the private members club to do some very serious work with you guys. Don't be frightened. Then I'm going to be going over to Derek Akora's page. Then I'm going to page hop back on here just for some readings and maybe to talk about oils and tarot schools and things. So let's have a little look. Who am I drawn to? Here we go. And I've got some questions about compatibility as well there. Michelle Newton, I'm just going to come to you. Would love a message, please. And I've got my crystal ball as well at hand. We couldn't decide to go whether to go for a clear one or a blue one today, could we? No, went for the clear. And also today as well, I'm wearing sunstone. So sunstone's available in my gemstone shop. It's your shop, darling, isn't it? And sunstone is really good for confidence, and it gives you a little bit of sparkle. Am I sparkling?
Always.
Doesn't even know what I'm wearing today. What am I wearing today? Close your eyes. Yeah, exactly. Anyway, I'm thinking of you, Michaela, and I'm putting those cards back on top for you as well. Don't you look like a 50s starlet with your hair like that? Absolutely love that. So, Michaela, let's have a little look for you. The Strength card, played by my daughter, Honeybee. You're a woman of strength, courage, and determination. And boy, you've had to be strong, haven't you? But what we do know is you're good at caring for others. We have now the Page of Pentacles coming up for you. Darling, what are you studying towards? Because you're obviously going towards something where you have to work the levels up quite hard. And I think if you're going through a hard time, when you're going through tough times, you've just got to keep on going. The Five of Pentacles shows financial worries. Who hasn't got a financial worry? Whether you're in a secure position at the moment or not, finances are hard. What I know from your reading is whatever you're feeling at the moment, Michaela, go back to who you are, which is, number one, a humanitarian, but also somebody who likes helping others. Don't make decisions which won't lead to your dreams as well. A spiritual awakening at the moment, then you know what? Burn some frankincense, take yourself to a higher level, because what we've all got to focus on is being a better version of ourselves as well. So let's have a look. I had a question that I really wanted to get to. There we go. So Nicole would like to know, are Virgo and Aries compatible? A fire and an earth sign together, one grounds the other and the other one brings the adventure. So it's a little like being different, but in a way where you mold and you bring out. It's a very naughty combination. And then you'll both take times to try and tame the other one. You can't ever tame an Aries and a Virgo. Let's look at the Virgo. The Virgo, an earth sign, very practical, has their own beliefs. So when you want to convince a Virgo, any of you out there, you have to make them think that they've discovered things for themselves. But Aries, ruled by Mars, the planet of change and unpredictability, gosh, wouldn't life be fun? The arguments, when they come, which would probably be once or twice a year with this combination, will be on fire. So take a fire extinguisher. But I'm sure the hot moments in other areas or other places in the house will be well worth making up for it as well. And do you know what? Sometimes you find that you can go for a person who has something in your chart that you're lacking. So we'd have to ask and look at your charts as well. Samantha Norcup, I'm about to bring on the Lengro ladies. How is your lovely dad? He is hopefully recovering from COVID now and getting stronger. Let's have a little look. Michaela Newton, if you're on the cusp, you are not a Libra and a Scorpio, inbox me, my darling, and I will look at your chart and I will tell you. You wouldn't have the attributes of both of those signs as a sun sign, but you may have one of those as an ascendant possibly that's really ruling you as well. Absolutely love that. So what am I doing? We're looking at the moment to bring on, let's have a little look. Who should we bring on first? Let's bring on the lovely Jack.
Hello.
Hello. Hello, John. Got a new motor? What was that from? Years ago, wasn't it? I'm struggling today. I've been up talking to myself for far too long as well. You are very, very welcome. Talk to me, Jack. Tell me what we're talking about before I bring on.
We're talking about mental health this week. And we've got a brilliant magazine this week, bumper edition, with lots and lots in it, all about advice and things to do with mental health. So, yeah, we're talking all about that today.
So what I know is that tomorrow as well, on Thursday, the 4th of February, it is Time to Talk Day. I would bring up a banner, but I can't read and do the instructions on the laptop at the same time. We want today to remove the stigma around mental health. It's never been more important as we find ourselves in a global pandemic with mental health declining. So I think we'd better bring on our expert. I think I'm going to take you off for a moment while I bring her on, and then I'll bring you on to ask a question.
Hello. And I've been joined by Frosty the cat, who wants some attention.
Hello, Frosty the cat. I just kicked Jack off because I wasn't really sure what I was doing this morning. But what I want to ask you is, you are indeed Cheri Rice, the founder of Healing Solutions Therapy, a hypnotherapy practice based in Brighton and Hove. And you combine a mixture, don't you, of hypnotherapy, EFT tapping and solution-focused counselling to help your clients. That's why, Cheri, that I wanted you to guest edit Lengro magazine for me and be in charge of what went in this week. How was it being editor for the week?
Oh, it was such a pleasure. We've got such a great team. And what amazed me was, this is a topic close to my heart, but all the articles that came in from the team all tackled mental health, but from a different perspective. So we had people talking and sharing their own mental health journeys, their own musings. We've got really good articles on how to help boost mental health, why it's good to talk. We've got people focused on joy, how crystals can help, the gut-brain health connection, so much. It's an amazing issue. And if you haven't read it all yet at the moment, now is the time to read it, especially with what we're going through at the moment in the UK.
It is. And I'm so, so proud to call you, the resident wellbeing expert at Lengro. So I'm going to bring back Jack now because I'm feeling bad. And I think that she might have a question. Ella, sorry about that.
That's all right.
Beautiful Jack, do you have a question, please, for Cheri?
Yeah, Cheri. So what was your favourite, and if that's a hard question to ask, but what was your favourite article?
It's so hard because they're all my favourite in a different way. But I really loved how sensitively Gemma tackled the postnatal depression article.
That was my favourite.
Oh, good. Yeah, because it affects 10 to 15 out of every 100 women. People don't talk about it enough. And it's such a sensitive time for women after they've had a baby. So that was my favourite. And then I obviously loved my cover interview with the midlife mentors, because if you haven't heard about them, read that interview and then go and look them up, because they help midlifers get that mind, soul and body connection to help them live their fullest lives. And Claire's got some great tips in the article. She thinks and writes just like me. So she's got some great how to boost your mental health tips in there, which I advise you all to read.
Oh, thank you. Well, I must say that I actually learned some tips off of you, and I'm like a bull in a china shop sometimes. When I get your articles in and I go, got it, you are so polite and like chatty, and I'm going to take a moment now to apologise to my team and not be so blunt. Honestly, it really, really was. Let's bring on the amazing Sam, because she's also got something amazing. Hello, Sam.
Hello.
Hi, Sam.
Sam, you're adding, I know you've got a question for Cheri, but I also know you're adding something amazing to the pot this week. Tell everybody what you're getting oiled up about this week.
Well, it depends. Which answer would you like? Would you like the professional one, or would you like the just
one when you
normal
finish
thing?
work. No.
I'll go professional this week. We'll make it different. 100%. I'm looking at anxiety and how essential oils can help. Obviously, anxiety and depression tend to get just bundled together, but they are very different issues. And just because you're experiencing one doesn't mean to say you're going to experience the other, and vice versa. But essential oils can really help, like 100%. I don't think people realise how good essential oils can make you feel. Well, same as crystals, you have to put the power in, obviously.
Yeah. You know we love them because I created a gemstone shop, and also we've got our own essential oils as well. I'm going to bring. You had a question, didn't you, as well, for Cheri?
I did, but if you want to bring Laura on as well, that's fine. I'm sure Laura's got a question.
I renamed.
Hi.
Doesn't Laura, hello beautiful, look like Jessica Rabbit today?
She does.
Yes,
absolutely.
I don't think that was in her wardrobe.
Absolutely love it. Do you know what, guys? We've got lots of things coming up. If you want to have a little look at some of the comments that are coming up on the right, don't you think, Laura Ann, that Cheri did an amazing job of editing the magazine this week?
Absolutely, yeah. There was so much. So many articles in there were fantastic, and Cheri's kind of the me to you and where she's kind of helped us through putting the magazine together. Fantastic job from Cheri and from everyone on the Lengro team. Really, really good job.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it really was a team effort. The articles you guys wrote this week were amazing, but it wasn't really down to me. It was really down to you guys.
Well, do you know what? I think that the whole team at Lengro, we really keep each other going, don't we? But what I want to know is I want to know how you guys out there are coping in lockdown, and what mental health advice you might need, while we have our resident expert who has gone to all her sources to bring a brilliant magazine this week, so she can help you guys out with things online as well. Laura Ann, I've got to ask you as well, we're talking toxicity as well, aren't we, in relationships? And you're paying. Say it again.
So toxic positivity is something that's it's becoming more and more known about, but to bring awareness to it. So as Brits, like we do have that stiff upper lip and that keep calm and carry on thing, but actually toxic positivity is where telling people to be positive, to kind of chin up, all of that can be more detrimental than we expect. Because in my article I've written in there, if you think someone that's taken the time to come to you, to open up to you, they've probably played it over and over in their head, what they're going to say, what you might say, and they've really had this almost anxiety to open up to someone. And you imagine they get to the point and they do this, and someone says, chin up, it could be worse.
Ooh.
So that person, even though it could be a well-meaning response, or like, oh, stay positive, you'll be fine. Actually, when you think below the surface, the point that this person has come to from where they've been, I think we need to adapt how we word things when we give support to people, and kind of, rather than just trying to keep that stay positive attitude, maybe give them time to talk, support them, and facilitate that time and space that they need. So
Yeah.
cool.
So
Yeah,
can I ask you?
100%. You never know what anyone else is going through, do you? So,
Exactly.
you know, normally if someone's bringing an issue to you, it's because they finally found the confidence to be able to bring it up. So don't just brush them off and just go, oh yeah, it'll be fine. Actually listen to the person.
Let me ask you, ladies, a question. I'll come to any one of you actually, and particularly you, Laura, because you were just speaking about it. But as far as when people are like this to you, at what moment did you change, and how did you react that got you the reaction back that you wanted?
Well, if I answer this one, then. Going back in the past, when that's happened to me, it's made me think, why did I open my mouth? Why did I say anything? And it's kind of reaching out to get a non-supportive response. And then it makes you think, oh, okay, how I feel isn't valid right now. So maybe I should just keep my mouth shut. And then it's taken years and years of learning to talk to people and then supporting other people in what I do, that actually to talk is more important. So it's picking your words. And even though people may come to you with uncomfortable feelings, uncomfortable situations, it's knowing how to respond in a way that they can feel like they've done the right thing and opening up to someone.
Yeah, because they just want to be heard. You know, someone coming to you, it takes a lot of guts, and they just want to be heard. And by saying chin up or other people have got it worse, you're just completely dismissing them, invalidating them. And the whole thing about mental health a lot of the time is people haven't been allowed to have their feelings. And then you go and talk to someone that's dismissed. It's okay to not be okay.
Yeah,
I found that when my husband died, because my dad passed away first, and then my husband died, and I remember somebody said to me, "Oh yeah, but you'll be fine. You're a tough old bird," you know. And people kept saying to me, "Oh, but you're so strong," and then you think in your head, "Okay, well I have to be strong. I can't cry. I have to be strong," you know. And so you block these things out. And I went through years of just blocking things out and just getting on with things. But then it does come back and hit you all of a sudden. I started getting flashbacks and things. And then I think you need to address things. So, people aren't, they might come across as being strong, and they might be strong, but you can't be strong 24 hours a day,
What about you guys out there watching right now? What tools have you used that have been powerful in response to toxic negativity?
Toxic positivity. So it basically means trying to tell someone to be positive when actually it's more toxic to their well-being.
It is. So I would like to leave this hour that we have here with some stronger tools that don't involve swear words when people sort of give you a negative response. That would be useful to show on.
That's me out then. Okay, I'll just be quiet for the next hour.
Well, somebody was just asking about hearing what's in the magazine. I'm going to show what's in the magazine for Jack. Then we're going to come back and have some more chats. And then we might be doing Lengro leading ladies, Sam. So get yourself ready. Let me just show you guys. At the bottom of the screen, if you don't know about Lengro magazine, somebody was asking, then you don't know what you're missing. And here's why. And
hi everybody, and welcome to issue 37 of Lengro magazine. Well, we have got a bumper packed edition for you this week. We're talking all about mental health. We're addressing loads of issues, so I hope you will find it really helpful, and we've got lots and lots of helplines on there for you today. Gemma covers postnatal depression and our children's mental health issues and the things we can do to help them. I've got on my Beneath the Covers page some Valentine's Day gift ideas, some celebrity news, and some tips on how to keep your cats stress-free. If you're an Aries and you're fed up with being cooped up indoors, or you're a Leo and really, really miss going shopping, then Claire has got some advice for you and our star signs this week. Tatiana has some vegan-friendly makeup products in the Lengro beauty box, and Kirsty explains why not exercising is really bad for our health. It's Time to Talk Day on February the 4th, and you can find out more about that from our wellness expert, Cheri. The Lengro team have also been talking about the importance of talking and what brings us joy. Laura Ann is back with her chakra guidance this week, and she takes us on her personal journey with mental health issues as well. Jan Bray explains the link between food and mood, so have a look at that, that's very important. And our lovely Em has finally turned 50, and she's got the hangover today to prove it. So she's been out and about enjoying herself, but she has written an article all about turning 50, her thoughts and the lessons that she's learned along the way. I've got a short story and a poem in Twin Flames this week because our lovely Emma has obviously been out enjoying herself and been too busy. We've got sausage meat casserole in the Lengro kitchen from our lovely Jan, and you can learn about Which essential oils are the best for anxiety? So have a look on Sam's page for that. Find out about depression from a man's point of view. Mitch tells us all about that. Laura Chester has some very strong opinions about self-care and what it means. Amanda says we can learn a lot from nature's magic and ancient ways. She also introduces us to her 21-year-old son. The gorgeous Leslie Anthony is back with a guide to crystals and tells us which ones are best for our mental health according to our zodiac signs. And our cover star today is Claire Davis from Midlife Mentors. So have a read of her fabulous interview. I really hope you find this issue interesting and helpful. And don't forget, you can contact us with all our details are on the page, so you can contact us about absolutely anything and tell us what you would like to see in the magazine as well. So for now, I hope you have a really healthy and happy week, and I'll see you again next week. Bye for now.
Oh, don't you love Jack? Absolutely gorgeous. I'm going to have a look at a few of your comments, guys, first of all. Sergio, you love Laura Ann. Who couldn't? Never realised about toxic positivity. See, he can get it right before this, and it's definitely enlightened me. Z over in America, and now I've realised I have to keep me happy first. It's harder than you think. I'm living for me first, then my children and parents, not living to anyone's expectations but my own. That was a light bulb that happened a couple of years ago as being brought up to live up to family expectations. Z, I know you won't mind me saying that you're a client of mine. I have watched you manifest, I've watched you grow, and now you are flying, baby. So proud of you. Kim, there is no time limit on grief. Go with your own flow each moment. Each day takes you a step closer on your own experience. Kim Gary, that's it. We've got your comment there. And Nicole as well. Being told you're strong isn't helpful when you're reaching out for help. And that's happened to me too. Well, let me bring it on now. Let's have a little look. The amazing Amanda Waring to teach us some self-care, keeping dignity going, because Dignity Action Day is what she's here to talk about. Let's have a look. Hello.
Oh, hello, darling. Lovely to see you all.
Could I just ask you, first of all, I have a question for you. We've got some lovely comments coming up, and I'm going to bring the guys back on after Lengro Leading Ladies. But we've got some lovely comments coming up. Who is this hunk?
Oh my God, I'm really hurt.
Hold on, listen.
I thought someone was climbing up my stairs for a moment.
I want to know who this little hunk is.
Oh, who is that?
Who is it? Well, here's a little clue. That is your little boy who is now a big boy, called Beckett, isn't it? Well, he's called Ben, but he's in a band. His band is called Beckett. That's right, isn't it?
Well, Beckett is his performing name, and it's just him. So he is this fantastic indie singer, songwriter, and I am biased, but talking about mental health, and the reason why I wanted to share a little bit about his music as well is that he's found a way, as a young man at the moment and in times of COVID, to keep creativity going, to keep positivity going by expressing his feelings in one of his songs called Feeling, which came about at the start of COVID, and this latest single, which is at the back of the car, and it's a really a beautiful, uplifting tribute to his granddad who passed during this time of COVID as well. And the young people are finding ways to struggle. They are definitely needing outlets of creativity and outlets to know that what they're doing is reaching and helping others. So I'm really proud of him because he, like me, he's a little Cancerian. Hi, Jan. Oh, good afternoon. Hi, Margaret. He's a Cancerian, so we can go into our shell. And oh, thank you. Sorry, reading the comments at the same time. But we can go into our shell. So, sometimes, and I think a lot for young men as well, when you ask them what's wrong, they won't necessarily open up. And it's other ways that they have to be there. And I've had to say with Ben, I'm here when you want to talk, and recognize that as a mother, we want to fix everything. We want to make everything be all right and take away any pain that they may be feeling. But ultimately, you may not be, and as a single parent, I may not be the best person for him to talk to as well. So it's being able to give up that mothering instinct of trying to make everything better.
Yeah. Do you know, Amanda, one of the most important So one of the most important points that you've made there is the word talking. I think once we start talking, whether it's to our mums or to anyone else, then we begin our journey, don't we? And I know loads of people's children are struggling from, you know, infant ages to adult children as well. And I think you're an absolutely brilliant inspiration and a brilliant mum with an amazing son. So people can check out Beckett's songs on Spotify and also on Apple Music. I had a listen today. Absolutely amazing voice as well. Absolutely amazing voice. But Amanda, tell us about Dignity Action Day.
Yes, well, again, this ties in with the whole theme of mental health, because Dignity Action Day was something that I set up with the Dignity and Care campaign with a wonderful group of people. And this was in 2005. So February the 1st, which is just gone, is Dignity Action Day, where all around the world, but particularly in England, we are asking everyone to focus on the dignity of others. So how can we uphold more dignity and more respect for our elders in the community, for those that are disadvantaged, for those that are struggling, for refugees, whatever aspect of dignity that needs to be supported, for us to really open up about it, to talk about it, and to also recognize where our own lack of dignity is and our own lack of respect. And I think, you know, I've just come off teaching 100 people, doctors and nurses right now, and caregivers on dignity, workshop on dignity. And a lot of this, what I come back to, when we behave in a way that is out of character to us, when we demean someone, when we are thoughtless or careless, it is so often because that part of us that's missing love, that's missing respect, that's missing dignity. If you put a megaphone to most of us of our internal dialogue, it would be so shocking. We would be put in prison for abuse to ourselves, because we'll be like, you know, oh, I'm stupid, I can't do this, I don't look like this, everything, criticize.
Yeah.
So actually, the thing that's very important with Dignity Action Day, and something that I'm passionate about, is to say, how can we stop that mental chatter of destruction, and how can we turn it into actually really listening and tending to? So like Laura said, I caught that last bit, you know, you can't be overly positive. The work that I do with people on caring for those that have gone through the deepest traumas. So in the article in Lengro, I talk about working with those whose children have committed suicide, for example, or people that have gone through PTSD. So the deepest, darkest traumas. But one of those things is to be able to learn to self-soothe. But you have to feel the pain. We can't avoid it. That's the thing. We can wear masks and we can do this and that, but eventually we have to feel the pain to let it through. And this is why sometimes counselling helps, but sometimes talking about it doesn't always help, because we can talk ourselves into a loop. And we can use words to actually distract us from what it is that we have to feel. So it's that moment of feeling that pain, that disturbance, and releasing it, and then we can talk about the next steps. So it takes a lot of courage, and the work that I do and talk about in the magazine is about using other ways. So yes, nature's magic, looking at shamanic ways, wise woman ways, that way of tending to the part of our wounds, like when we have mental health issues. That's wounds for maybe not the current situation. It may be wounds that you're carrying on behalf of your ancestral line that's not even yours.
Yeah, gotcha.
You go down rabbit holes, but it's fascinating to see when you don't feel like you're behaving like yourself. It's often because you're not actually yourself at that moment in time. So it's defining and coming back to your own center. And that's what I help people to do.
Let me tell you, as an astrologer, and you know, because you look at the stars as well, you know, we've got Mercury in retrograde and we've had a full moon in Leo. So we are all going to be feeling up and down. A piece of advice I can give you all for my own life is that when you're feeling down and when people are being negative, just by making the very small rule for yourself not to be around those people, not to talk to those people, not to entertain them, but to focus on things that bring you joy. And if you follow that feeling of joy within you, before you know it, life starts to take shape. Life starts to feel good. And you start to realize, hey, I can't remember when the last bad day I had was, because you're respecting yourself and you're giving yourself that dignity. But we are going to lighten the load in just a moment. I just want to say, Kelly Elizabeth says, writing a letter to the person and then reading it aloud to the imaginary person, then burning it helps to let go of the past.
Yeah.
It doesn't heal 100%, but does help. It really does. Nigel, we're going to come back to your question. I'm going to put that to Cheri as well. How to keep my anxiety down, please. We are thinking about moving soon. But do you know what? I think we should lighten things up, Amanda. I really do. So I think it might just be a little bit the time now to see. I'm scrolling up here and doing the text side. So bear with me. You might have to cover me. I think it's. I'm feeling like knowing what's on the movies. Cover me for a moment while I find it.
Oh, okay. Yes. Movies are one of the most fantastic ways to lift your spirits. Absolutely amazing. A good laugh. I watched this divine movie. I woke up at 3 in the morning, was concerned about something, you know, one of those days where you just, and I ended up watching something called The Leap Year. And obviously I've got my show for that's about Valentine's.
You know what? Hold that thought, because you're going to be part of Lengro Leading Ladies. You're going to fill in for Emma this week. You've done it to yourself. Here we go.
Hi.
Hello.
Go on, Amanda, carry on. Tell us about Leap Year.
Oh, it's a lovely film. Have you never seen it, Jack?
Yeah, I have. I love it.
Yeah.
Well,
Amanda, go ahead. It's brilliant.
Oh, okay. So this was my 3 o'clock in the morning, like literally sitting on the sofa, can't sleep. I need to just, what's this? And it was so romantic. So set in Ireland, absolutely beautiful performances. Now it was Amy. Oh gosh, I can't remember her name now. This is really bad as an actor. Amy Adams. And then the guy who I'd not seen before, who was just delightful and lovely. But it's a beautiful, a woman who thinks that she's going to propose to her husband, who obviously isn't quite the right guy, because he doesn't give that, we're talking about receiving pleasure, but he doesn't quite give her enough joy and excitement. And one of the things that we need to do, and this is Leading Ladies crossing over in mental health, is to receive things that really are unexpected, that surprise us. And that was my like surprising gift. And I was only going to watch like 10 minutes and go back up to bed, and I watched the whole thing and just felt so romantic and so lovely, and like everything's possible again. So yes,
I love that. I love that when that happens, when you unexpectedly just put something on and it just turns out to be brilliant.
Yeah,
really good.
Brilliant.
I think you would be surprised to know who the leading man is, Amanda. Because
I've gone out with him and I have forgotten.
You might have done. I mean, I don't want to put that rumour out there, but you put it out there.
I don't mind putting that rumour out
there.
He's
also the leading man in my show of the week, which is, are you ready for this? A Discovery of Witches. And the leading man is Matthew Good, who is also in Downton Abbey. How do you recognise him?
Okay, no, I did not. Okay, that's fine.
It's the accent, isn't it? It's because he had a really good accent. It just doesn't make him sound like him. Thank you, Facebook user. Brilliant. But no, 100%. I think he's a brilliant actor, but I think it must have been one of his early roles. Right. Because like his acting style is completely different now. Obviously, when you see him in things like Downton and then in Discovery of Witches, if anyone hasn't watched it, absolutely fantastic. Obviously, Jack, I was talking to you about it last week, wasn't I?
Yeah.
Did you actually? Because I think the first episode with it, of first series 1, first episode, is a bit slow.
Yeah, I watched the first episode and I thought, I'm not sure about this, because I do love anything to do with witches and vampires, but I wasn't quite sure. But you said it was amazing, so
yeah, literally, if you push through that first episode, because it's sort of setting the scene really. And then you go through this journey with Diana, who is a witch, but she doesn't accept herself as a witch because she's never really grown up. Although she's grown up with magic, it's not something that she accepts of herself.
Yeah.
So it's sort of her story. She, of course, falls in love with a vampire because, you know, it wouldn't be a program without having a bit of romance there. But it is absolutely brilliant. If you think that you have seen every possible angle of witches, vampires, demons, etc., you haven't. This comes at it from a completely different aspect, and I can only recommend it. it does a bit of history. She's a professor in alchemy, so it does all that side of it as well. It's got all of the demons, the vampires, and the witches all have to get along without trusting each other. Bit of a strange dynamic, but it is absolutely
though. Is it really scary, and is it gory? Because I'm not so good with
scary. No, not at all.
Okay,
100% not at all. It's not like, I would say that Twilight is probably more gory than Discovery Witches, and obviously that's not gory at all. So no, 100% it's not. There's not a lot of violence. There's not a lot of sex. It's just a sweet romantic story, but then it's got all this history behind it. But it is amazing. If you've not watched it, please take a look.
I've watched Vampire Diaries.
Yeah,
I watched Vampire Diaries in the originals, which I absolutely loved. And I thought I was having withdrawal symptoms because there's nothing else out there, so I will definitely give that one a go. Definitely.
And I think bizarrely, the second series is better than the first. I mean, I binge watched both because obviously, it's been a while since the first series was on. So I was like, I don't want to miss anything. I just remember loving the series. So I binge watched the first and second series all in one go. Yes, I was off. It's fine. I don't think I saw daylight for the whole of that weekend. But it was.
We know you're a vampire, really.
Yeah, that's what it is. You're just like, oh, hang on a minute, it's got dark again. But it's absolutely fantastic show. And the fact it has got some people in there that you will recognise, but it's a lot of unknown actors as well. And I think that
on my list.
Yeah, I watched. I don't know whether you saw this, Sam, but Ant Middleton and Rebel Wilson, Straight Talking.
Yeah, I love both of those people. I love Rebel Wilson anyway. Absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, it was fabulous. And he took her to the wilderness out in Mexico, and it was a real good sort of raw, really good interview. I mean, she's still funny, but she talked about her childhood and about harassment in Hollywood and lots of things like that. But it was absolutely fantastic. And he's done a series. I think he's done. Who's the other person he was talking to? Liam Payne, I think he's done as well.
Oh, really?
But,
he's done a few different people.
Yeah, but this one I watched. I definitely recommend it. It was great. Really, really good.
Yeah. And for who was asking when the series is on which platform, Jack and I were both on Sky One this week for our recommendations. It's all on Sky On Demand. Just 100% it's on there. Because I know that we obviously Discovery, which is on Sky One. I know that Rebel Wilson and Ant Middleton were also on Sky One.
And how about our Claire then? What's our Claire been up to?
And as if by magic, I'm lonely. Let me bring back on our experts. There's my amazing Cheri, and listen, guys, if you did comment and we didn't show your comment on Lengro Leading Ladies, I can't possibly bear the thought of you not knowing where to find what they've talked about. So comment again, and I'll bring it up, and I'll make sure that we'll address it as well. Cheri and Laura as well. You've been at the moment. Are there any comments that caught your eye that you'd like me to bring up?
Yeah, I'd like to go to Nigel's comment because I know he commented at the beginning of the show and I made a note of it, and he's just commented now that he needs some help with his anxiety.
Great, there we go.
Sorry, Cheri, I've just seen we've got a troll on here.
Okay.
Just everyone, he's just come up.
Well, thank you so much, Sam.
Don't just ignore him. We 100% are all true, genuine. We do not, well, unless we're doing it from our official accounts, we do not reach
I'm not being
out to
funny.
you.
I'm not being funny, but if I was making up a name, I would make up that name. That's like asking everybody to call out for certain names at the airport that you do when you're feeling stupid, isn't it, really? So thank you so much, Katie Elizabeth, for reporting the troll. Niger, Joel, let's bring you up. Look, there you go. We've got Nigel's address.
Yeah, sorry, Cheri. I just didn't want anyone falling victim to anything.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. And just before I go to Nigel, I just want to say Matthew Good is my celebrity crush, by the way.
I will start sending you bits from him then, because don't worry,
please,
it'll give everyone else someone to talk about. That's fine.
So Nigel, I'm so sorry you're feeling anxious. Things are a little bit crazy at the moment, and actually I had a bad anxiety day yesterday. I think there must be something in the air, and I had to go through and think what had triggered it for me. And what I'd done was I was a bit out of alignment. I wasn't really exercising, I wasn't eating right, and I'd looked at the news just before I went to sleep. And actually, when you go to sleep and when you wake up in the morning, you're in a theta state, which is the state that hypnotherapists take you into. And it's a state where your mind can be reprogrammed. So for this period of time, just make sure you don't watch any news or any scary films before bed or in the morning, and have some real positive self-talk if you can, but it's okay not to feel okay. But some really good tips to help keep your anxiety under control is I would keep your blood sugar level stable. So eat regular protein-rich meals all throughout the day. Make sure you're getting enough sleep. If you feel particularly anxious, get out and move. You've got adrenaline pumping around your body and it has to be released. So move, jog on the spot, go for a sprint around your block. Do what you need to do to get that out of you, because I think after animals have been in fight or flight, they have a good shake afterwards, don't they, to get all that adrenaline out. And another amazing technique, which I know I've mentioned before, but it really is like taking natural Valium, is to do 7-11 breathing. It's where you breathe in for the count of 7 slowly and then breathe out for the count of 11. And if that's too long, you can do 5-7 breathing. And if you just do that for a few moments every day, it calms your mind and it engages your parasympathetic nervous system, which is your calm and peaceful nervous system, not your sympathetic, which is all adrenaline and go. And that nervous system is in full flight. So you just want to switch to the other one. So do some breathing. But do contact me offline if you want some more tips, and I'm happy to have another chat with you and we can find out maybe what's the trigger behind your anxiety.
Love that. Can I just ask you, Cheri, do you know what? Our show, our time, you're here because you want to, people. Can we just do 2 of those at 7-11 now? Could you lead everybody? Because my feeling is, for some people, it can be humiliating to think about taking that moment to stop for them. Oh, yeah, it's silly. I can't possibly do it. So let's do 2 7-11s right now if you'd lead us.
Sure. So the beauty about 7-11 is you can do it anywhere and no one has to know you're doing it. So you don't have to put your hands on your heart or anything. But today, I think let's put our hands on our heart and connect to our heart center, because it's just such a lovely place to be. And then just take a lovely deep breath in for the count of 7. So no, for 11. No, 7. Sorry. So 1, 2. Let's do it again. This is not my strong point. Obviously, in a session, I'm more professional. And let's go. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And just hold. And then release. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Letting it go. And then breathe in again. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Hold. And then release. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And now for some people that could be too much. So you can breathe in for 5 and breathe out for 7. But just taking that time to breathe out for longer than you breathe in, it just calms you down. It engages your parasympathetic nervous system, which is all about relaxation and feeling centered. And then when you're calm, you come out of survival mode, because your brain is like, survive, do that, quick, go. And it comes down to, oh, let's have some perspective. Let's look at things from a different point of view.
I actually feel more grounded now because you've made me stop and take a moment for me. And I don't feel as flighty. Before the show, I've been up since 5 this morning and I was been quite flighty today. And I feel more grounded. So do you know what? You're right. Making yourself take that moment really, is absolutely amazing. Laura Ann, I feel like I've ignored you today, my beauty. Tell us what you're up to as well, because I know that you've got the most amazing courses, because I enrolled on one of them, but you've got lots going on at the moment. So fill us in as well.
I do. I have been a busy bee. So I have got my Phoenix Rising mentorship, which is for soul-led women with soul-led businesses. And I've also got my Soul Circle running, which is amazing for any women that are intuitive or feel that they're intuitive that would like to kind of rise up within that. But I've also been doing lots of art, which is good. It's good for the soul. And I'm have been since the summer building and putting the bones and all the other bits together for my soul art activation course. But painting for me, and you'll read it in my article as well, art is my safe space. And it can be so beneficial for adults and for children. And as it says in the article, you don't even have to be good at art. I have so many people say to me, can't even draw a stick man, but that's fine. So you might even actually see some of my art behind me. So abstract art is fine. You just close your eyes if you want to. and just kind of flow in with your, oh, I think we've got a bit of feedback. Flow in with your paint, your brush, or whatever you're using, put some music on and just feel your flow. And then when you open your eyes, you have this amazing piece of art that is like your soul art, and it's
love that. But Laura, if you can hear feedback, let us know, and I'll try taking one of us off at a time to see who it is. Don't want to lose any of these guys, but let me know if you've got any feedback. Laura Ann, you haven't really gone as deep as you do, though, because this lady here, she actually crushes gemstones and puts them in her paintings as well, don't you?
I do. I've got a very large granite pestle and mortar, and actually I had a delivery yesterday and awaiting today as well from the lovely Leslie Anthony. I've got these jaspers. I've got a red jasper by Pat Taylor's recommendation, and I also have this piece of jasper here. They're still in the tissue paper, so they will be ground up and they get put into, I've got it all here, they get put into these lovely little mini jam jars and get labeled, and then I sprinkle, depending which ones I feel, they get sprinkled onto my paintings, and they just really infuse that crystal energy, and it makes them nice and shimmery as well.
I absolutely love that. Now, if you don't know who Leslie Anthony is, she's a lady that I went into collaboration with, and also works with Laura as well. And she also makes the most amazing, oh, my hair's coming up my bracelet. We also have these gemstone bracelets. We can make for you bespoke ones for what you need. And what I also have here, guys, as well, that we've made up is the guide to crystal for your zodiac sign for mental health as well. So read that in Lengro. Let me see, the first person to tell me their star sign, I will tell you what we recommend. Yes, we've got a question for you, Laura, that you need to answer as well. There you go.
Ooh. I suppose I could. What I do them more on a commission basis, so they'd be more personalized to you.
Yeah, and also, if you don't know, Laura is also the artist of the Claire Petulengro Romani Gypsy Tarot cards as well. So let's go to Helen Allen at the moment. So you're a Taurian as well. So what we would put in a bag for you, my darling, and if you've got any of these at home, then do use them for your mental health. Rose quartz, of course, for self-love for a Taurian and restores trust and harmony. Rhodonite for emotional balance. Carnelian for self-confidence and for anger diffusing as well. Get over to Lengro magazine. That's where you can read all of that. And we've only got about 5 minutes left of the show, but I will be going over into my private members club, over to Derek Akora's page, and then back on here for some pure readings. But if you didn't know, Laura Ann here is also a reader. Where can people get readings off of you?
Ooh, you can find me over on my page, which is, it's called Anuveya, which is Anuveya, and you'll find me on there, readings, healing, and confidence boosting and coaching on there.
Absolutely love that. I'm just trying to bring up some banners as well. So here we go. Somebody was asking if they wanted to find Cheri. If you look at the bottom now, I'm just bringing up her contact. And can I ask you, please, as well, Cheri, if you can comment on this page underneath the comments as well when we finish, so that people can also find your page easily as well. Laura Ann, I'm struggling to find your.
Would you like me to link
contact details? So, Laura, you may well have to comment as well. Let's have a little look.
I'll do a drop.
There we go. Let's have a little look. Do you Taurus feel restless due to Uranus going through your sign? Well, do you know what? We've got Pluto going retrograde later on. We've got 7 planets this month moving into Aquarius. It's absolutely huge. But my belief is that you can do anything with a disaster. You can make it into a success. You can change things. Everything's in your power. And I've got to go over to a little quote now, which is something that Jackie gave me. And that is, look out, guys, for all the messages the universe is sending you. And remember, you're always being looked after. You can always make the most of your stars. Right, Margaret, I'm gonna have to type your thing. I can't not do this. Okay, so if you could bring it up as a comment, if you could type your email address in the comment, your email address and your information in the comments. I don't want Margaret Murray to leave the show without getting some direct contact details for you. This lady does all sorts. If it's something you've got an idea for her to do, she is absolutely bloody brilliant. You're going to have to put some of your pictures of your artwork up there, Laura Ann. You really are. But when are you live on your page, Laura Ann?
I was live last night, so I go live every Tuesday on my page at 8:45. But I might pop in and do a couple of lives this week, see if I'm feeling
Go on. And Cheri, so the best way for people to book with you now, would that be online if they want to seek some personal one-on-one?
Yeah, so online, I'll put my details in the chat after this live or email me direct.
There you go. Fantastic. Sam, you are amazing as always. Have you got a quote for me, Sam?
I've always got a quote, a nice uplifting one. You're never too old to set another goal or to dream a new dream.
I love that one. I absolutely love that one. We've got a quote up here, look, from Jane McKell. A doubtful songwriting freezing. Something from Jane McKell. I love it when you guys join in the show. That really, really means the world to me as well. And look, even Sergio has put up Laura Ann's address as well. Aren't you guys lovely? Jack, what is ahead for the rest of your day?
Can I just recommend a book? This is Quiet by Fern Cotton. I did review this a few weeks ago, but Amanda was just talking about inner dialogue. This is all about the negative chatter in your brain and how to stop it. It's a fantastic book. So I do recommend that book. That's a really, really good one.
Good, fantastic. What are you doing for the rest of your day, Jack? I'm sure lots of the single guys will be wondering about ladies.
I've got to go walk the dog, I've got to do some housework, I've got to do some writing, just bits and pieces around the house today, really.
And continue to be very glamorous. Come on, let's not forget that.
She is indeed the glamorous. And my lovely Amanda, what events do you need to keep your followers up to date with? What's happening for you?
Yeah, well, so the Let Love Bloom is the latest show that I've devised. So any of you that have got loved ones in care homes, this is a really uplifting, joyous show going through love with wonderful world-class musicians, fabulous actors, poetry, joy, song. So come on that. I'll be doing a new moon ceremony as well, and full moon ceremonies throughout the months to come, and marking every sort of turning of the year. So like the summer solstice, we'll be doing ceremonies. So yes, you can find me on, if you want one-to-ones as well, you can find me on theheartofcare.co.uk, or come on to sussexsweetretreat.com, or my Facebook page, amanda.waring, and I'll get back to you.
I absolutely love that. The lovely Leslie Anthony, please look at this lady's name. If you would like to message her privately, somebody is asking about good stones for diverticulitis, I think it is, disease. Please do message Leslie Anthony, who's got advice here about red jasper for self-confidence, self-trust, peace and calming, and black obsidian draws out mental stress and tension. But don't worry about that, because you can read the amazing Leslie's article in Lengro magazine, which she is part of the family of. And you can visit my gemstone shop, guys, where you can see all of the treats and treasures, and visit Lengro magazine, see my essential oils and much, much more. And my School of Divination, the Claire Petulengro School of Tarot, is now open. So we're going to go and get on with our day. I'm going to page hop. If you're not in my private members club, get on over. It's where I'm heading next for an up close and personal. Say goodbye, ladies.
Bye, everyone.